Hi everybody, it's the TC Show.
Top Cat, the most effectual Top Cat, whose intellectual close friends get to call him TC, providing its with dignity. Top Cat, the indisputable leader of the gang. He's the boss, he's a vet, he's a championship, he's the most tip-top Top Cat. Yes, he's the chief, he's a king, but above everything, he's the most tip-top Top Cat.
Welcome, Tony.
What on earth was that sound?
Okay, let's get going. Give it up for VI. And all the way from the UK, a jolly good US applause for George. Okay, let's get the show on the road. Tony is going to explain the format of tonight's show.
Thank you, TC. Tonight, the format is about the global economy. I shall ask the question, and if you know the answer, press the buzzer. Okay, are you ready? Why is Greece in the news? VI.
Grease 2, the movie, will be out soon.
Sorry, wrong answer. George, do you know?
The debt to the GDP ratio is too high. They are unable to pay back their debts without the EU bailout. Unfortunately, the EU bailout has many strings attached, which will mean austerity for many years in Greece. The Greek people have rejected the austerity measures, and as a result there will be further elections in June. It is feared that Greece may leave the Eurozone.
An excellent answer, George. Okay, finger on the buzzer. What is significant about the year 1971? VI.
Hey dudes, disco and I say again, disco music was born.
Sorry, VI. That was not the answer we were looking for. George, do you know?
1971 was a very important event. Richard Nixon went on television to announce that the dollar would no longer be converted into gold. It was only supposed to be a temporary measure. It never became a temporary measure. Prior to 1971, there was a sensible fractional reserve ratio of 1 to 9. In other words, 1 unit of gold in reserve supported 9 units of currency loaned out. Following 1971, the dollar became a fiat currency, that is to say, backed by nothing.
Hey Georgie boy, what's wrong with that?
Too much money was loaned into existence. Never in the history of mankind have the Western economies been in so much debt. It will never be paid back. The debt-based fractional reserve banking fiat monetary system is a model that is not sustainable. A major depression is coming.
Okay, finger on the buzzer. What can you tell me about the N? D? VI.
It was a hit song by the Village People.
It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA.
Sorry, VI, wrong answer again. George, do you know?
The N.D. is the National Defense Authorization Act. It was sneaked in by President Obama on New Year's Eve in 2011. Section 1021 states that there can be the use of military force to indefinitely detain American citizens without access to legal representations or due process of law, even after a federal court deemed the National Defense Authorization Act to be unconstitutional. The U.S. House of Representatives refused to exclude indefinite detention.
Hey man, we have nothing to worry about. The act will protect us from terrorism.
That's right. The government need to stamp out terrorism.
I believe the National Defense Authorization Act will be used against American citizens following the financial collapse.
You are right, Tony. We are giving up our liberties in the name of protection from terrorism.
That's correct. We have been dumbed down in the UK and US. Just look at the so-called reality programs and chat shows. We are living in a superficial age, with sound bites. Many people have lost their ability to think critically. They follow the herd and are sleepwalking into a disaster.
The world is going to be very different. The debt-based financial model is at its end. A new reality is upon us. We have got to get used to it. People that don't listen to reason tend to learn from bitter experience.
Hey George, you are worse than that gloomy dude, Tony. We have it boom and bust. This will be no different from the previous cycles I have experienced in my lifetime.
As I stated, people that don't listen to reason tend to learn from bitter experience. Don't say I have not warned you.
Okay, thanks for depressing me, Tony and George. I think I shall get the rope now.
I am just telling you as it is. Get ready for the financial collapse in the Western countries. The party is over. The lifestyle following the debt binge was just an illusion. It was not sustainable. We need to grow up and have a backbone. We need to understand that politicians tell us what we want to hear and therefore give us unrealistic expectations. The politicians simply kick the can down the road and delay a worse problem. Sorry to say, we have just run out of road.